Alright.
Welcome back to the Intangibles
morning.
Podcast. As you can see, wala si Laij. Wala rin si Samson. Si Laij dyan, nagkakaproblema kasi hindi ata nagbayad ng Meralco. Tapos si Samson, tulog pa. Ano na,
pero okay
alas
lang.
4 ng hapon na, tulog pa si Samson. Pero yun nga, welcome back.
Nabigla ako. Oo.
May binigla kami ngayon para sumama sa amin. And siguro naman may enjoy nyo rin siya dito. Welcome. Pero yan. Intangibles Podcast. I'm Matt.
I'm Pio.
I'm Byron. Carlo, Leuterio.
And I am the guest host. Guest host ba? Ang guest for this afternoon, I am Rome PASCUA po. Opo.
Explain mo
to the 14th episode ng Intangibles
Podcast. Yun. Woo!
Okay, kasama natin ngayon si Jerome, Mr. Rome PASCUA. Sa binansagang Sahali Stopper. Kung kalala nyo si Sahali, siya yun. Stopper nito. Ito yun.
Hindi ko alam bakit. And face reveal po. Ayan po. Shoutout sa'yo, Sahali. Miss na kita, men. Shoutout sa'yo. Ikaw na dito. Binulaga ako ng mga to. May ginagawa ako. Ako yung magiging guest pala bigla. Pero it's a pleasure. It's a pleasure kasi nanonood lang ako dati. Tas ako na yung magsasalita ngayon, di ba? So,
ikaw na yung papakinggan ng madla ngayon, bro.
So, hello po. Shoutout sa mga dear listeners and watchers natin dyan. Di ba? Sanay ako dito. Nag-host ako eh. Kaya gamitin ko.
Shoutout sa mga biggest fan natin, si Sobere, si Asis.
Andyan, shoutout sa inyo, mga minamahal namin. Minamahal namin kaibigan. Kaya naman, inaasong ko.
Kaibigan o kaibigan?
Kaibigan, syempre. Kaya naman, usapan naman yun.
Talaga.
Mga minamahal natin kaibigan dyan.
Ngayon, dahil mukhang komportable ka naman sa podcast natin ngayon.
Gusto mo, umiga pa ako dito sa kama ko para wag makita dumi-dumi ng kama ko, hindi pa ako nag-aayos.
Paraan na lang din. Dahil papakinggan ka ng madla natin ngayon. Introduce mo naman sarili mo. Sino ba si Rome PASCUA?
Ako. Yan nga. Baka sa mga di nakakilala sa akin, may mga sa ingin ko to, ayun, ako si Jerome PASCUA or ngayon, I go by with the name Rome PASCUA, new identity.
New persona pa.
TNT, tago ng tago.
Pero hindi, ako si Jerome PASCUA na isa akong avid fan ng basketball. At itong mga kasama ko dito ay mga nakalaro ko na, nakasama ko na, at mga nakisaling kit-kit na sa mga team nila.
Ayaw nga pala.
Diba? Shoutout sa practice na yung pasapasaan pa lang, hingal na agad. Tapos yung tumigil sa gitna kasi di na kaya. Yun. Pero yun. Tapos currently, yun. Sasabihin ko pa ba na nag-aaral ako kung ano yung tinitake ko ngayon?
Paalam mo.
Sige.
Okay lang.
Daming alam ng guest nyo ngayon, diba? So basically, ngayon, diba? Layo, basketball, tsaka pagkain, diba? Kumbaga, papunta pa lang sila Shaquille O'Neal tsaka Charles Barkley sa pagiging atabs nila, ay mga tabaan nila. Naunahan ko na. Parang bad na agad, diba? Pero yun, nag-focus ako ngayon sa course ko about food, restaurant, restaurant entrepreneurship, ganun daw dapat pronunciation. Social. Mahal ng tuition fee namin eh. 200k isang sem eh. Sayang. Pero yun, usapang basketball naman tayo kasi dito tayo ngayon. Tsaka, for the love of the game.
FYI lang, sobrang sarap ng mga luto ni Mr. Jerome PASCUA. Ilang beses na kami binigyan ng pagkain. Naku!
Yan.
Nang beses din namin inubos.
Binuraot sa ibang mga tao. Ayan.
Diba?
Shoutout sa'yo, Jeremy. Kung nanonood siya
Shoutout sa'yo, Jeremy Santos, kung nandyan ka man. Kasi Hindi ako makapaniwala as in magdadala lang ako ng pagkain. Pagdala ko, ubus na agad kasi alam nilang talagang kakainin. So, ayun. Enjoy naman. Enjoy. Okay.
Ayan, kilala niyo na si Jerome Pascua.
Mm-hmm.
Punta tayo sa ating recurring segment called Good Shot, Bad Shot.
Ay, good shot. Okay.
Good shot kung maganda yung nangyari para sa team or para sa player, then bad shot if it's not.
Okay.
So, first natin, hindi mo siguro question to. Chris Paul got injured. 6 to 8 weeks from All-Star break up until siguro first week ng playoffs, if ever. So, good shot or bad shot sa mga other players ng Phoenix throughout the season. Siyempre akin, yun yung tatanungin ko dahil pwede siyang makita as a bad thing or a chance para dun sa ibang mga players nila na mag-grow. Ngayon, gusto ko malaman sa inyo your side of it. Pio, gusto mo nang simulan natin to?
Sige lang. Well, para sa akin, syempre no one wants a player to be injured. So, bad shot yung kay Chris Paul. Pero kasi, may good things naman na nangyari. I think, nananalo pa rin yung Suns ngayon. The other day lang sila, first time nilang matalo in how many weeks ata. Magaling pa rin yung pinapakita nila. And, I think that Chris Paul's injury, manageable naman siya. Sinabi naman nila na, 6 to 8 weeks babalik. So, saktong-sakto come playoff time. May added rest pa sa kanya. For me, right now, alam ko early on, kung napanood yung earlier episodes, sinasabi namin, Phoenix tsaka Golden State teams to beat ng West. Ngayon, for me, sa current state niyan, Phoenix lang talaga yung team to beat sa West. Medyo nag-slip yung Warriors dahil sinabi ni Byron before the podcast, wala talaga si Draymond. Pero tas natatalo sila. Pero yung Phoenix, nananalo pa rin sila without Chris Paul. Sakto lang yun. Pag bumalik si Chris Paul, back to normal sila. Magaling pa rin sila. Yun yung akin.
Okay, good point.
How about you, Byron?
But for me, good shot naman siya kasi, shot ba?
Pag-isip mo. Ano?
Parang
ano?
It depends sa kung sino makakatapat nila sa playoffs. Kasi, for me naman, I think first seed na Phoenix. Parang lock na sila sa first seed. Pero, kung babalik si Chris Paul, playoffs pa lang. So, he has to get into a rhythm the first round. Tapos sa second round, it's either Utah, Dallas, Denver. Yun yung mga makakatapat nila. And if hindi pa sila nag-gel as parang yung chemistry nila last year, it's not hard to think na Denver can knock off Phoenix. Dallas can knock off Phoenix. So in terms of that, parang mahirapan sila if Chris Paul doesn't come back. Now 100%, I think Chris Paul has to be 100% for the Phoenix Suns to win the championship. So parang bad shot in that sense sa akin.
Akin, feeling ko naman makakabalik siya on time kasi advantage sa kanya yung play-in. Yung play-in tournament.
Tama.
Considered yun as playoff time and kasama yun sa mga weeks na yun. Nasa out siya ngayon. Hindi advantage sa kanya na may play-in tournament ngayon. How about you, Mr. Jerome Pascua?
Actually, good question. Parang discussion board lang, no? I think it's good shot for me, for the other players ng Suns. Pero gaya din sabi ni Pio, bad shot siya kasi sino ba naman na may gustong ma-injured? And diba? Pero good shot siya for me kasi looking how, I don't know if napapansin nyo, pero Aaron Holiday is doing great once nung na-trade siya.
Yeah.
Nung na-trade siya from Washington to Phoenix Suns, nag-step up siya, tapos may mga nakikita akong reels na maganda pinapakita niya. And I think Cameron Payne is back then in the lineup. Siya yung nagsa-start for Chris Paul. And I think it's a good thing for them to step up and then para magkaroon din sila ng minutes to show talaga, prove themselves. Pero yun gaya din na sabi.
Confidence.
Yeah, confidence din. And come ng playoffs, talagang once Chris Paul is back, meron kang maaasahan na guards na talagang parang mas may kita mo pa yung depth palalo depth
In-depth lineup ng Suns.
yung lineup ng Suns kasi 'di ba if mag-step up si Aaron Holiday, mas maganda yung facilitating ni Cameron Payne, scoring niya or yung defense niya, 'di ba? Mas talagang mas sabi mo na grabing contender yung Suns. Pero yun nga, yun din yung problema once na gaya din ng sabi ni Byron, once na dumating na if yung mga bigating teams, kahit yung mga nasa lower bracket, sabihin natin kahit na yung Denver, what if bumalik si Jamal Murray and then yung
Mabalik na
possibility
yun.
na si Michael Porter Jr., di ba? Na parang nagsisimula, I don't know if tama yung pagkakaalala ko, nagsisimula na rin ata siya ng practice niya ng physical one-on-one practices niya. So, we can't downplay that. And then yung Dallas, then yung Spencer Dinwiddie is playing really good and Jalen Brunson.
Tama.
Jalen Brunson is doing great this season. Like, I am not gonna lie, ang ganda rin ng play ni Jalen Brunson. And, yeah, so, for me, good shot din naman siya, pero meron din siyang bad shot at some sense. Pero, yeah, that's my take on that.
Tsaka to add to that, Phoenix bilang first seed, tapos if they get Chris Paul just in time with the playoffs, if AD comes back to the Lakers, tapos yun ang mga tapat nila sa first round, or if Paul George comes back to the Clippers, Kawhi, sila sa first round, that's a tough matchup agad, first round for the Suns.
I agree.
Kaya
kasi
parang
sila
bilang basta-basta, yeah.
Feeling ko naman kaya. Feeling ko, no offense sa kanila, pero feeling ko kaya ng Lakers.
Hindi, naunahan lang ako ni Byron, pero iba pa rin si playoff LeBron. Kahit sabihin mong...
Sa bagay.
50 points yun ng isang araw. Wala. For me, iba pa rin si LeBron.
Siguro kung magiging problema lang din nila is, yun nga, if nakakuha ng confidence yung ibang players ng Suns, paano yung magiging rotation nila?
Yun nga, diba?
Mamaya, at least, pag bumalik si Chris Paul, alam mo naman, pag playoff, nag-short yung, diba, rotation.
Rotation.
Pero that's the problem na ni, Coach Monty Williams.
And magaling si Monty Williams.
That's a good problem, honestly.
Kung sino nalaroin mo, no?
Diba? Yun na yun. And,
tsaka nagbabuy-in din naman lahat ng players nila.
I think yun yung maganda rin sa Suns ngayon. Like, nagbabuy-in sila sa system ni Coach Monty Williams. And parang, hindi ko alam, pero may swerte ang mga Holiday, di ba? Tignan mo si Justin Holiday nanalo sa Warriors. Si Drew, kakapanalo lang sa Milwaukee. O, di ba? Malay mo, si Aaron Holiday ngayon napunta sa Phoenix Suns.
Bigyan ko na lang kaya sila ng konting yabang. Panalo na talaga.
Diba?
Okay. That's that. Next up. Okay, alam kong kaka-trade pa lang ni James Harden. The Ben Simmons, James Harden trade. And napag-usapan na natin yung good shot, bad shot noon before. But the general situation ng Suns. The general situation ng Nets. Nets. Good shot or bad shot? Kasi may nakita akong stat na parang the last so-and-so games, 3 lang yung pinanalo nila. Ang maraming games yun. Sunod-sunod yung talo nila for a lot of days na.
Yeah.
Gets.
I think parang 3 wins lang sila. Ay, 3
last 20
last 20 games. Last 20 games.
The general situation there, like if Ben Simmons comes back or the trade itself, good shot or bad shot. Right now, as we speak, kung ano situation nila ngayon.
Sino ba una?
Pio, sige, unahin mo na ulit, Pio.
Bad shot ako. Para sa akin, may mali talaga sa Nets. Like, alam ko nung una, kaya mo pang sisihin si Harden, hindi siya nagseseryoso ng laro. Ano pa sabihin nyo kasi magaling yung pinapakita niya ngayon. Pero for me, mali talaga, may mali sa kanila eh. Ngayon, yung naririnig natin, umaasa sila na yung vaccine mandate matanggal sa New York. Di ba? Para si Kyrie makalaro at home. Tapos, last 17 games na lang ata or something, 9th seed sila. So, pangit pa performance. They're in danger of not making the play-in tournament. For a team that talented. Para sa akin, mali yung priorities nila. Like, alam ko si KD, he's balling out. Pati na yung mga nakuha nila sa lahat. Pero I feel like sa situation nila ngayon, sobrang mali yung nangyari. Kasi, yun nga, umaasa talaga sila dun sa vaccine mandate. Paano kung hindi mangyari yan? Hindi ko lang alam kung ilang games na lang yung malalaro ni Kyrie sa last stretch. Pero bad shot siya sa akin.
Ako, unahan na lang kita muna, Byron. Kasi apang napansin ko lang on paper, that trade would make sense. Kasi, Ben Simmons, hindi ko alam kung paano siya maglaro ngayon, pero pass first siya. Pwede siyang maging 4 because of his defensive prowess. Ayos para sa akin yung takbo ng Nets pag inayos nila yung rotation nila. In a sense na ito na lang, situational. Sinong starters ba nila ngayon? Kyrie. With Kyrie. With Kyrie. Ben Simmons is there.
Kyrie, Seth Curry, Drummond, KD.
Simmons.
Ben Simmons dapat.
If kasama si Ben Simmons.
Okay. So Kyrie, Seth, KD, Ben, Drummond. That's a good starting 5 on paper. Kung ako sa kanila, patakbuhin nila yung bench nila of Kyrie. Hindi siya mag-start siya. Pero pag nag-sub na kayo, labas mo yung 4, pasok mo yung bench, si Kyrie matitira. And then pag bumalik yung starting 5, pasok mo si Cam Thomas. Instead of Kyrie.
Ito pala, add lang. Kung tama yung pagbibilihan ko, sa last 17 games ng Nets, 7 lang doon ang away games.
So considering wala pa si Kyrie.
Oo.
So,
7 games lang si Kyrie makakalaro. So yun, take that.
Let's just say yun nga. Feeling ko akin, magiging good shot lang itong nangyayari sa kanila kung bumalik si Ben Simmons, makawala na si Kyrie dun sa kung anumang situation niya ngayon, at magawa nila ng maayos na rotation yung starters and bench nila. That's just me. How about you, Byron?
Well, para sa akin, hindi naman siya... I still think it's a good shot. Yung trade ba? I forgot yung mismong good shot. I think
trade
the trade's
at
a good shot.
situation nila ngayon.
Situation ngayon, I don't think there's any reason to panic. KD just came back. He just played 2 games. He's averaging 34. And I mean, he just came back. And before the injury si KD, they were the first seed. So it's syempre, kapag tinanggal mo yung best player, magdi-decline talaga yung Nets, which did happen. Tapos in terms naman dun sa kay Kyrie, they're gonna be a bottom seed, but Kyrie's gonna play the away games. So in a series, he's gonna play 4 out of the 7 games. So umatapat nila Miami.
If nag-end yung season?
Yeah, if kung mag-8th seed or 7th ang Brooklyn, Kyrie's gonna play 4 out of the 7 games, and I think they can win 1 at home naman. Or 3. Basta, I'm still confident in the Brooklyn Nets. Kasi sino ba mga players nila? They have Kyrie, they have Curry, Patty Mills, KD, Dragic, Simmons, Griffin. Sobrang dami nila players. So I think they can make it work. But KD's just there for 2 games. He's been there for 2 games only. For the last 17 games, I think they can make it work naman. True. Especially with Simmons' talents na parang, feel ko magiging parang Draymond Green siya for the Brooklyn Nets. And napansin ko sa game nila against, I think it was Miami, yun talaga yung kulang nila, it was defense lang. And sa Celtics, yun yung kulang nila, defense. And I think Ben Simmons will make up for that. So I think there's a good shot naman. No reason to panic for me.
What's your room?
Teka, sorry, nagre-reply lang ako. Joke ko, cut yun.
Yun talaga.
Cut yun.
Welcome.
Okay, sorry. So, for me, good shot or bad shot siya? It's hard to say right now, but because since kaka-trade pa nga lang. Pero, from the raw talent itself of the roster, it's good kasi from James Harden, nakuha mo si Andre Drummond. Yun, address na agad yung isang need ng Nets na kailangan nila ng rebounding because we know how good Andre Drummond is with rebounding. And then you have Seth Curry, another shooter na pwede mong itapat, which is another weapon for Ben Simmons once he's back. And then, speaking of Ben Simmons, although sabihin natin, yun nga yung naging problema niya, yung kanyang shooting during the game nung playoffs. I think, sorry, kayo na ba sila na against Atlanta nung playoffs? Yeah. And, pero, Ben Simmons is still good. Magaling siya defensively. He's really good at passing, high IQ. And you surround him with a lot of weapons, a lot of good players like Kevin Durant. You have Seth Curry, you have Patty Mills, you have Cam Thomas, and you have Kyrie Irving. And kung nandito nga lang din si Joe Harris, that's more deadly. Pero at the same time, yun nga yung magiging pressing issue rin. What about your defense? Kahit nga sabihin natin, you have Ben Simmons, he's good defensively. Yung mga players na alam mong you will surround him ng shooters. That's gonna be the problem though. Will they play defense? Di ba? Pero for me, as of now, siguro, I'd say it's a good shot pa rin because mag-acclimate pa rin naman yung chemistry nila. And once Ben Simmons is back, and I think number one, besides that na talagang si Ben Simmons, for sure yung issue lang din talaga ni Kyrie Irving talaga with how he's gonna play, what's his situation. And that's another topic pa. But at the same time, for me, it's a good shot. Like, nakita na naman natin, nanalo sila with, di ba, si Seth Curry lang palang yung naglalaro, din sila underground. Pero once na nag-build up ng chemistry, I guess they're really a contender. And kung magamit nga ni Steve Nash yung pieces niya properly.
Yung assistant coaches ni Steve Nash.
Yung assistant coaches ni Steve Nash. Sorry, pardon me. Pero yeah, yun yung take ko doon. As long as, yun din lang din naman, like what we said din with the Phoenix Suns, pero yun din yung magiging problema kung mamadali mo, kung mag-buy-in. Pero yun nga kung minadali mo, we're not sure. Pero kung magbabuy-in yung players na yun and we already know they're competing for a championship, di ba? I think it's Brooklyn Nets will be really, really scary.
I
diba?
agree.
Yeah.
Okay, last one before the main topic. Ito, yes or
May
no.
topic pa lang yun.
Meron pala eh. Meron eh.
Yeah.
Pero ito, last muna. Simple yes or no. Yes or no. Is the situation with Zion the same as the situation of Joel Embiid when he started in Philly?
Hindi.
In terms of, people are saying na Zion wala. Like, you never know what he can do now. Hindi na siya the same person or whatever.
Yeah.
Pero may pinoint, hindi ko rin musang nabasa to, pero may pinoint out na Joel was out for a couple of years.
Yeah, probably
And look at him now. So, yes or no? Parehas ba yun? Kasi ang nakikita ko lang na difference is hype at saka yung diet. Hype at saka diet ni Zion.
For me, pwede ring no kasi the way na yung lumalabas how Zion is like as a teammate, I don't know if it's really true, but yung claims agad ni JJ Redick, and if he personally, kung ganun talaga si Zion, that's a problem. That's gonna be a real problem.
Pero hindi mo sabi kasi rookie siya eh. Hindi mo alam kung ganun talaga.
And I think it's working on it naman.
Yeah, and I think
hindi pa niya alam na kailangan niyang gawin yun.
Pero that's the thing
naman.
He's gonna learn. Pero that's the thing din eh. Like yung the uncertainty kasi. Pero kasi si Joel Embiid parang yung simulan, medyo konti lang yung nakita mong laro niya. Pero from Zion, may nakita ka na agad eh. Like from the summer league.
Kaya hype yung inaano ko. Feeling ko hype lang naman yung difference pagdating sa ganun.
Yun nga eh. Yun talaga.
It's the same thing. But if Zion's not hyped up this much, it's gonna be the same situation.
Exactly. And I guess it's like one way to find out is if maglaro na ulit si Zion. And tropa yan, kinukumpara natin Joel. Alam mo, mataas talon eh, no? Pero, yeah. I mean, I like Zion's game kasi kukumpara kami pala, malaki mga katawan ko. Pero, I mean, I like his game, pero, I mean, the hype, kind of iffy about the hype. So, I think, yun din yung mga pressing issues about him. We don't know. It's the uncertainty. Pero for me, it's a no.
Pio, Byron.
Well, sa akin, hindi siya same. Well, sa talent naman, I think you were having questions about this nung rookie year pa ni Zion. he came back. Tapos we saw his game. I think that's gonna be the same. What's gonna happen when he comes back again? Parang I think same lang naman yung laro niya. Ganun pa siya dominant, magaling. It's just a different situation for me in terms of their willingness. Joel Embiid wanted to be in Philadelphia.
Yeah.
I mean, trust the process. Siya talaga yun eh.
Yeah.
I don't think Zion is really eager to play in New Orleans for the time being. So, in terms of that, si Joel Embiid, gusto niya maglaro talaga. As in, gusto niya maglaro immediately. Zion's taking his time. So, parang na siyang gana maglaro sa New Orleans sa mukha talaga. So in terms of that, doon na lang nagkakaiba para sa akin.
Ikaw, Pio?
For me kasi, hindi siya pareho. Kasi yung kay Embiid, pwede mo sabihin na hindi, yung injuries naman niya, hindi niya control. Like, yung mga nangyari sa how he got injured. Yung kay Zion kasi, sige at the start, yung unang injury niya pagbigyan natin. Pero right now, yung weight niya, kung paano siya nagpro-progress, I think that's on him na. Kasi ever since na draft, di ba, yun palagi yung criticism kay Zion, his weight. Wala natin sinasabi ni Barkley ako, kaya ako I got better because Moses Malone called me fat and I had to get in shape. Yeah. Ever since pa lang na-draft si Zion, sinabi na ng GM ng Pelicans, oh yeah, we're gonna work towards getting him in shape.
Yeah.
Makita natin siya after this off-season, ang laki talaga niya. Sobrang laki nung, may inilaki pa siya talaga.
Malay mo, James Harden lang yan. No?
So,
yung bigla na lang papayat. Yung bigla na lang
Hindi ko na
parang hirap naman. Pero I think one thing, parang I think one thing about the issue of Zion din, about Zion na we should be, parang at least be wary of, parang, I don't know, ako, I agree din naman, parang nakikita ko, pero at the same time, I try to see din a perspective from Zion coming, because like, it also affects him, like, as a player, mentally. So, diba, all from the backlash and all from the memes na nakikita niya. So, parang, may possibility din na naapektuhan din yung mental health niya. That's why. So, and honestly, it's really hard to tell. Like, kung ano ba talaga. Kasi may mga lumalabas din na, may mga nakikita article na maayos din naman pala yung fit ni Zion. Tapos nilalabas na naman din na yung itsura niya na mukhang angulo, mataba. Parang nangyari rin to kay James Harden, di ba? Ang laki-laki nung, maayos din pala yung katawan niya. Di ba? So, it's really hard to tell.
Yung mo rin masabi kasi ang daming jacket na suot eh. Kaya,
di ba?
Masyadong
malamig kasi sa Amerika eh. Hindi tulad dito sa Pilipinas. Sobrang lagkit ng pawis mo eh. Pero yeah, that's my take. So,
okay ba? Okay na ba?
Okay na.
Okay, guys. Topic natin for today. Shout out to Sir Mikey Reyes. Inspired po kami sa'yo. Pero ito yung gagawin namin kasi. For the next couple of weeks, we're gonna talk about the top 10 of each position all time and top 10 of each position playing right now this season until makaabot tayo sa playoffs. So today, unahin natin yung centers. Dahil medyo na-realize din namin ang hirap sa point guard. Kaya kukunin na lang namin yung point guard para mas magandang topic din. So ngayon, unahin namin yung centers. First, we're gonna talk about the top 10 all time. And let's go one by one. Sinong first?
Si 10 muna.
Ha? Sino?
Ano sabi
mo?
Parang
1 by 1, like 10 each. Like sabihin natin yung 10 tapos 9 or what?
Actually, yung unang 5, sabihin nyo na ngayon.
In order, no?
Yung unang 5 sabihin mo muna. Top 5 muna, tapos yung 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Tsaka tayo mag-isa-isa mamaya. Top 5 mo, Pio. By order.
Kareem, Shaq, Bill Russell, Will Chamberlain, and Hakeem Olajuwon. Top 5.
I got the same list. I got the same top 5. Same din yung sa akin, Byron.
Sa akin, it's Kareem, Shaq, Bill Russell, Hakeem, tapos Will Chamberlain.
So, nag-switch. Ikaw, Jerome.
Dahil bigla lang, naganap na lang din ako sa website. Pero, I think, I agree din naman with the list. Kareem, I have Kareem, Bill Russell, Wilt, Shaq, and Hakeem.
You put Shaq at number 4.
At number 4. Yeah.
Why is
Because
that?
of
Why is that?
why is that, di ba? Ang ganda pero may sagot na agad ako dyan. Nakaisip din ako, di ba? Spontaneous tayo. Kasi
Yun talaga.
yung first 3, I think we know how dominant Shaq is. And I really love Shaq's game. Because like, as someone na talagang fascinated with how centers play. Kasi parang gusto ko ganun yung laro ko rin. Kasi build ng katawan ko. Tapos yung pag naglalaro ko sa mga larong labas, di ba? Sa larong kanto, parang ganun yung
Walang
inaano mo.
sa Holly Stopper doon. Ikaw lang
Ha?
yun. May 1 of 1 ka sa Holly Stopper.
Tigilan na natin yung sa Alice Topper. Baka mamaya, taas ng expectation na lang. Ginawa ko lang naman, nakapagbanggaan lang naman. Ay, pero wait, speaking of sa Alice Topper, bago tayo mag-proceed, naalala ko lang yung pinaka best moment ko ata na nakabantayong nakaano ko si Sally. Hindi ko alam kung naalala niyo mo pa to, bay. Pero si meron nun yung kalaban natin section nila Sally nung grade 10. Tapos lamang sila. Core memory ko to, katuwan-tuwa na ako dito.
Core memory.
Kasi parang na tayo doon, lamang na sila, tapos medyo paubos na yung oras. Tapos parang sabi ko, hindi ako suko. Sabi mo, puto hindi ako suko.
Grabe yun.
Puso Pero hindi. Lamang sila doon, tapos parang nagka-loose ball ata. Parang parang yung bola, loose ball. Tapos nung dinive ko, puti, kakala ko matatawagan ako ng traveling kasi nung grade 9, nung nag-dive ako ng bola, gumulong-gulong ako, natawagan ako ng traveling. Tapos nung grade 10, ang nangyari nun, parang na-loose ball ata. Hindi ko alam kung si Sahali naka-loose ball. Tapos nung nakipag-agawan ako nun sa bola, nakuha ko. Nung tumawag yung pito, akala ko traveling, pero hindi pala. Ang tawag, bola na namin kasi may sumundot ata sa akin, hindi ko alam. Sabi ko, tapos parang kumbaga energy lang, pampagising sa mga teammates ko nun. Kasi parang walang suko. Laro pa tayo, hindi pa tapos yung oras, di ba?
Nasa Holly Stopper, Mark Pingris pa to.
Tapos biglang ang nangyari nun, si Sally, hindi ko makakalimutan si Sally. Parang tinapik ako sa puwet tsaka sa buko. Sabi ko, ganun sa Sally. Tapos parang sabi ko, di ba? Energy and hustle ba? Parang yun. Pero yun. Now, back to the topic. Top 3 ko. Sorry madaldal yung naging guest nyo ngayon. Patawarin nyo. Sana dumami views nyo, di ba?
Tama.
Diba? Sana. Di ba? Yun naman manifest. Pero top 3 ko, Kareem, Wilt, and Bill Russell. I think siguro, although I love Shaq. Like, ang ganda talaga ng game niya and yung accolades niya. Pero parang yung tatlo talaga, parang, kumbaga, titingalay mo rin yun eh. Because like with what they've done during their time, it's Kareem, like low sky hook. And then Bill, I don't know why, but I think out of the 3, Bill Russell's really underappreciated. I don't know, just maybe because hindi lang nakikita stats, pero sobrang mamaw din ang laro niya. And with how many championships he won. Lintek, sa kanya nga pinangalan yung finals MVP na trophy eh. And number 3, Wilt Chamberlain. I mean, grabe mga stats noon. Like, 101 points ba? 100. And how he played, like how he dominated. And number 4 ko, Shaq. Because like, it's Shaq. Like, sino ba naman ang di kay Shaq sa top 5? So that's my take.
Ikaw, Byron, alam ko kasi notice ko. Sa amin kasi ni Pio, parehas kami na sa top 5. Sa'yo, sinong pinagpalit mo? Itinaas mo si Hakeem kay Wilt?
Yeah.
Mas mataas si Hakeem kay Wilt. Bakit?
Well, para sa akin, stats ni Wilt, taas, kanyan. Pero when you really observe yung difference ni Bill Russell, Wilt has 2 rings, Bill has 11. Parang sobrang magkaiba naman. Sobrang laki ng difference to say that he was that dominant beast ng time nila. And for me, if Shaq didn't, para sa akin, mas magaling si Hakeem kay Shaq eh. It's just Shaq is just really that dominant. Pero when nagtapat naman sila, wala rin nasabi si Shaq kay Hakeem eh. So I think Hakeem is one of the most underappreciated in his time because ando siya sa gitna ng greatness talaga ni Michael Jordan eh. So you couldn't really appreciate yung time ni Hakeem.
Wala si MJ, mas marami siyang championship.
Of course.
Marami. Pero kasi marami rin marami rin mga sentro pa rin yung
Bagay,
nagka-credit.
marami rin hindi nag-champion dahil kay Jordan.
Oo, pero marami ding nagka-credit din ng kay Hakeem ng maraming mga batang sentro rin like tignan si Kai or like the other kids out there na parang naging role model din nila si Hakeem Olajuwon kasi iba rin talaga yung footwork din. Ako personally talagang yun din yung pinapanood ko rin, yung footwork, yung paggalaw niya, that's really something else. Like,
yung ad ko lang kay Hakeem, people keep saying na si Sam Bowie was picked ahead of Michael Jordan and people keep calling him like the bust of the history talaga ng NBA because he was picked over Michael Jordan. Pero Hakeem was also picked ahead of Michael Jordan naman and no one thought na mali yung pick na yun kasi it's Hakeem Olajuwon. That's his greatness.
Yeah, that's true.
Galing, Byron. Ang galing nun. Ang galing nun, Byron. Ikaw, Pio, well, explain mo na lang bakit Wilt over Hakeem. Sa'yo.
Actually, masakit sa loob ko yun kasi Hakeem fan naman talaga ako. Pero for me kasi, yung top 3 ko talaga, Kareem, Shaq, at saka si Bill Russell. Nag-agree ako dun sa I'll always put Bill Russell ahead of Wilt because of that reason. 11 versus 2 rings. Ano na lang, dun na rin sa mga malilit na facts. Si Will Chamberlain, 7'1" siya. Si Bill Russell, 6'10" siya. Pero every time na nag-match up siya, kain na kain talaga si Will Chamberlain kay Bill Russell. Wala siyang nasasabi. Ibang klase si Bill Russell, yun nga. One of the most dominant players who ever played also. Pero I put Wilt in front of Hakeem just because si cultural impact also, yung impact niya sa game. Yung nga, 100 points, wala pang nakakatalo nun up to today. The closest was Kobe at 81. Cancel out lang sila sa 2 rings kasi nag-2 rings si Wilt. Back-to-back si Hakeem. Pero mas mataas talaga yung average ni Wilt kaysa Hakeem. That's why I put him over Hakeem lang. Yun lang. Yun yung akin.
Akin lang stats lang din yung nilagay ko. Kasi almost and everything magka-cancel out sila. So, stats make a big difference.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay, ito. 6 to 10. Number 6 muna tayo. Number 6. Pio, sino number 6 mo?
Moses Malone.
Byron.
Moses Malone.
Jerome.
Teka, sandali, titignan ko. Number 6 ko? David Robinson ako eh.
David Robinson din ako eh. Number 6 ko.
Yeah.
I just feel like, come on, it's the Admiral, bro.
Exactly. Byron, joke lang. as a Spurs fan, pero hindi, not really as a bias na naman as a Spurs fan, but like, it's the Admiral.
It's the Admiral. Like,
dami
niyang accolades compared to
Moses Malone has 3 MVPs.
Yun lang. But the championships, I think being that the role model that he is to Tim Duncan probably when they were still together.
And kung gaano rin siya tinitingala din as part of the Spurs history din. So like parang for me talagang he's really up there.
Pag sinabi mong Spurs kasi alam mo kasama si David Robinson doon.
Alam mo rin eh. Hindi
mo kailangan sabihin.
Hindi lang sila Tim Duncan, sila Tony, sila Manu.
Kailangan ma-mention si David Robinson.
David Robinson, isa siya sa mga nag-cement din noon eh ng winning culture din ng Spurs.
I just feel like okay, let's just say I may or may not find I may or may not be one of those people na parang ina-underrate si Moses Malone.
Yeah.
Pero iba lang naman din kasi si David Robinson.
Iba.
He's David Robinson. He's part of who the Spurs are. And I think yung impact niya yung nagpapataas sa akin over Moses Malone. That's why he's higher than Moses Malone on my list. Kayo, guys.
Yung akin, well, nag-agree ako sa inyo. Kasi Moses Malone is, David Robinson pang 7 ko naman siya. All time. Pero, okay, tinan mo kung kailan si Moses Malone nag-MVP. 79 kalaban si Kareem. The best center on this list. Natalo niya for MVP. 82, 83, Kareem, Magic pa rin yan. I think Larry Bird also nakalaban na niya yan sa MVP. That's three of the top 10 players ever played the game. Nag-champion siya 80s. Sila yung nag-champion in between the Lakers and Celtics dynasties.
Wait lang, pause. How old was like Kareem and them guys before yung 79?
Kareem was nasa prime niya yun.
That was the Kareem's prime. Latter half of the 80s lang naman binigay kay Magic Johnson yung yung first option. Anyway, para sa akin, gets ko lahat na sinabi niyo. I agree 100%. Pero if yung championships nila almost cancel out. My finals MVP pa si Moses Malone, being on the same team as Dr. J, who faced the Showtime Lakers also. But I think resume, halos magkapantay lang sila. May konting lamang dun sa MVP si Moses Malone, may konting lamang si David Robinson with 1 championship. Pero the impact that he had sa Sixers and when he was with the Rockets, wala talaga. Moses Malone impacted the game in so many ways. Blocks, I think siya pa rin yung all-time leader in offensive rebounds. Well, malaki din yung impact siya yung last year.
Byron. A Spurs fan.
Well, sa akin kasi.
Spurs fan.
I mean, alam ko na magaling talaga, dominant si David Robinson. But I think Moses Malone is probably the most underrated star of the history of the game.
I agree.
Kareem was the best player in 70s. The 80s was Magic Johnson, Larry Bird. In between, I think it was undeniably na si Moses Malone was the best player of the league. 3 MVPs, 79, 82, 83. Tapos, they didn't just beat the Lakers. They swept the Lakers.
Oh.
They swept Magic, Kareem. Tapos yun yung sinabi ni Moses Malone na faux. They would sweep every team. And that's what they did naman. I think they just lost once sa first round ata. Moses Malone had that confidence. And in terms of being a role model to Tim Duncan, to David Robinson, Moses Malone was a role model for Charles Barkley din naman. So ganun din yung impact niya as a leader. So masabi mo rin yun. Which I think sinabi ni Dominic Wilkins yung impact ni Moses Malone as a leader. Naging teammate siya sa Atlanta. And si David Robinson kasi, it's hard for me to say na he's better than Moses Malone when Moses Malone dominated a time where Kareem was still in his prime. Pero sa 90s kasi, if you put Shaq, Hakeem, David Robinson, I think David Robinson did not cement his dominance as much as the other two did. It's hard to say that naging dominant talaga siya when yung matchup niya kalaban si Hakeem. Hakeem's always schooling David Robinson eh. So, in terms of that, parang nahihirapan na i-put over Moses Malone talaga.
I see. Well, Jerome, sino ba 7th mo?
Moses Malone.
So,
Moses Malone na.
Nagbalik Robinson yung pa 7 ko.
6 and 7 parehas lang tayo. Let's move on to
David
number 8.
Robinson 7.
Number 8. Yeah, who's your number 8?
Yung bandang dulo dito na ako nahirapan. Pero Dwight Howard yung pang-8 ko.
Same, actually.
Dwight
Same.
Howard. Pinagdebatihan ko sila ni Patrick Ewing pero si Dwight Howard yung nilagay ko. 8.
Patrick Ewing.
Patrick Ewing. Dwight, really? Over Patrick Ewing?
Oh. Kasi for me,
I get why.
the resume speaks for itself. May championship si Dwight Howard, guys. Kahit na siya, it wasn't his quote-unquote prime anymore. Pero he has a championship noong 2020. 3-time Defensive Player of the Year. Tuloy-tuloy pala, 2009, 2010, 2011. Dipoy. For me, siguro hindi lang siya he wasn't able to carry the Magic to the finals when he was against Kobe and then the later years LeBron. Pero resume prime per prime, I think may laban talaga si Dwight Howard over Patrick Ewing. For me.
I mean, akin, Dwight's my 9th. Patrick Ewing's my 8th. And I don't know, like may iba kasing I think Patrick Ewing was, hindi ko alam kung lack of a better term, in his prime for a longer time. For a longer period of time.
Yeah.
Sino ba namang hindi makakaalala sa palaka ng tira na? Hindi ko alam eh. Parang dun ko siya nakilala, yung parang palaka na jump shot niya.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Parang ganun. Feeling ko yun lang yung nagpataas sa akin. Kasi mas marami siyang na-accomplish na although wala siyang championship, but again, si Jordan yun.
During the Jordan era, yeah.
Jordan era.
And I think siya yung nag-rookie of the year din siya, di ba?
Yeah, rookie of the year si
Patrick Ewing. Yeah.
Madami siyang accolades, mas matagal siyang nasa prime niya, mas marami siyang nagawa dahil doon. And if it wasn't for Jordan, well, hindi naman valid argument yun kasi if it wasn't for LeBron, people would have been the champion. But, or like the Spurs, marami namang pwede mag-champion dahil kung wala lang sila. Pero, if it wasn't for Jordan, at least probably one may napanalo lang yung Knicks. I don't know. But, yun lang yung nagde-differentiate sa akin eh. And, feeling ko naman yung championship ni Dwight, although well-deserved, he's not the guy.
Yun nga.
He's not the
Yeah,
guy.
pero I think he still did a significant role din naman with the Lakers. Like,
know his role. Know your role.
diba? I think yun yung nagustuhan ko na kay Dwight. Like, from naging adjustment niya na rin from nasa Charlotte, Atlanta, Washington, kahit parang limited games na ata na laro niya. And then, yung transition niya ng Lakers and Philadelphia na siya na I think testament doon nung nag-playoffs na nun sa bubble yung against Philadelphia with what he did. Kaya parang for me, kaya as of now, I don't know, kasi gusto ko lang talaga yung game din ni Dwight. Like, reminds me of like, parang kahit pinapanood ko siya ngayon, naalala ko pa rin yung how good he was back then. Defensively. And nung game talaga na talagang, if yung game pa no na feed mo sa loob yung mga center or yung mga ano pa. Pero yeah.
And to add na lang muna. Pag pinag-uusapan yung centers of the 90s, it's widely parang talked about na not in that order, pero Shaq, Hakeem, David Robinson, sila yung parang pagdidebate mo top 3. Tapos Patrick Ewing will always be after them. When Dwight was in his prime, I don't think there was any center na talagang that was as good as he was. Center kasi for me, sina Pau Gasol, sina Kevin Garnett, they played power forward. Yung centers naman na, I think sila Byron at saka si Glenn Davis.
Big Ben.
So,
Big
saka
baby.
si Ben Wallace. So, I think, yun eh. For me. Yung considering where they were in their primes. Dwight was the best big man in his era. Or during his prime. Si Patrick pang-apat siya.
Sa akin naman, actually, point ko yun. There was really no good big man when it was Dwight's
I was
era.
about to say.
I mean, you can say na he was the best. Well, he was the only good big man.
Sino bang center nun? Na pwede talaga.
Sina Bynum. It was like 2 years. 2 years.
Para mga power forward talaga yung mga talagang meron. Which is dapat abangan nyo rin sa top 10 na mag-uusapan.
Kaya promote.
Galing mag-promote.
Babalik ka? Babalik?
Hindi ko alam. Malalaman natin, tignan na lang natin kung pababalikin nyo ba o hindi. Kasi nahugot lang din naman ako dito ng di oras eh.
Let's see.
Yeah,
pero yun nga. So, ano na tayo? Sorry, yan na naman. 8 at saka 9 natin.
8 naman sa 10. 8-9 si
8-9. Dwight. Ano ba? Sino 9 mo? Rome.
Ewing.
Ayun,
Ewing or Dikembe pero para mas Ewing talaga, sorry.
Number 10. Tara. Number 10.
Mutombo.
Mutombo.
Ikaw ba?
Ben Wallace.
Ben Wallace. Wow. You know, I went with Bob McAdoo.
Ako, for the sake of adding someone from this current generation, I don't know why. Baka mabash ako dito, pero really, NIKOLA Jokic. My number 10.
Damn.
Agad? Really?
Yeah, I think
he has the potential to be.
He has the potential.
Sobrang malaking potential.
I am putting him there na agad. Pero like, kasi, I don't know, kasi iba yung, parang, nag-adapt siya sa game ng big man and how he plays na iba talaga. Like, and yung recent game niya lang din ata, nag-overtime ata. Yung game kahapon, I forgot kung sino yung kalaban nila, pero may nag-overtime. Tas sobrang monster din ng performance niya. And from the last season, undeniable talaga MVP season. And right now, he's solidifying himself as one of the best centers in the league right now. And I think, for me, parang gusto ko lang din siya ilagay. But with no disrespect din naman kila Bob McAdoo, kila Willis Reed. I don't know.
George
Willis-
Mikan. Yeah.
Yun,
Nasa honorable mention ko yun, si George
and
Mikan at saka
sila
si
Willis Reed, sila Dikembe. Pero it's just that I'm really fascinated with how Jokic is playing right now and recently talaga. So yeah.
Mas magaling ka naman dun, Jerome.
Hindi yun, huwag ka naman ganyan.
Kinikilig.
Kikilig ako sa'yo. Pero hindi, di ba? Pero, as in yun, parang, di ba, pag si Jokic, talagang titignan mo rin yung laro niya. Talagang, gusto mo subukan din yung mga bigla ang no-look passes niya, yung mga ganunan, di ba? For me, kaya yun lang. And it's a bold, so it's a bold take. But, I'd take that because
Yan yung ilalabas agad natin sa Instagram, yung mga takes ni Jerome.
Jerome maganda.
Jerome maganda. Okay, ako explain ko lang, Bob McAdoo. The guy has 2 NBA titles. He has an MVP, 5-time All-Star, but the thing that puts him over the top was he's a scorer. For 3 straight seasons, siya yung leading scorer as a big man. In one of those seasons, average niya 34.5. Damn. Really? 34.5. Ano pa siya? Like, his mid-range was okay. He's not the tallest center, but he made it work, which is why he made my top 10. Ikaw, Pio.
Hindi, kasi for me, pinagdebatihan ko actually Dikembe tsaka si Ben Wallace sa pang top 10. Pero I just ultimately went with Dikembe kasi he 4-time Defensive Player of the Year. Tapos yung in 1995 pa, so yung kalaban niya, sina Hakeem, David Robinson, Patrick Ewing, all those guys. 1998 also. Again, I think pati si Rodman ata, kinalaban niya doon. Tapos 1997, 1998 pala yun. Back-to-back siya. Tapos 2001 with the Sixers and Allen Iverson. Tinalo lang talaga sila ni Shaq in the finals. But maganda yung impact ni Mutombo, not only in the game of basketball, but outside of the game. Hanggang ngayon, ambassador pa rin siya ng league. But I think siya yung he was one of the biggest reasons kung bakit nagkaroon ng international games played in other countries. So I think just for that deserve rin yung mapunta sa top 10 ng centers.
Okay.
For me, Ben Wallace, preference na lang din sa akin. He has a championship nga. He's I think 4-time ba? Or 3-time Defensive Player of the Year. And well, I just really like Ben Wallace's game. He's not the tallest. He's just 6'9". Pero how he defended Shaq, and if yung pag-name nila ng Finals MVP then was how they do it now, yung Finals MVP si Iguodala kasi guarded LeBron, Ben Wallace would be easily the Finals MVP ng series na yun. I mean, his defense really was the identity nung Pistons. And that was a dynasty. Yung Pistons, sobrang tagal nilang magaling. And for me, preference lang din talaga for Ben Wallace. I like his game.
Alright. That's our top 10. Okay. Recap lang ng top 10 all-time, no? I have Kareem, Shaq, Bill, Wilt, Bill Russell, hindi Bill Walton. Bill Russell, Wilt Chamberlain, Hakeem Olajuwon, David Robinson, David Robinson, Moses Malone, Patrick Ewing, Dwight Howard, tsaka Bob McAdoo. Guys, come on.
Kareem, Shaq, Bill Russell, Wilt Chamberlain, Hakeem Olajuwon, Moses Malone, David Robinson, Dwight Howard, Patrick Ewing, and Dikembe Mutombo.
I have Kareem, Shaq, Bill Russell, Hakeem, Wilt, Moses Malone, David Robinson, Patrick Ewing, Dwight Howard, and Ben Wallace.
And I have Kareem, Bill Russell, Wilt Chamberlain, and Shaq, and then Shaq, Hakeem, David Robinson, Moses Malone, Dwight, and then, oh my God, putik. Sino number?
Si NIKOLA,
Jokic.
Patrick Ewing, tsaka si, NIKOLA Jokic. Naglag pa yung utak ko doon. Sorry.
So, ayan. Teka, here's another commercial break. Wait lang. Come back from the commercial break. Okay. Right now, we're gonna be talking about the top 10 centers this season since napag-usapan na naman yung all-time this season naman, and we're going from number 10 onwards.
Oh, okay.
Number 10 onwards. Okay. So, Jerome, who's your number 10, my guy?
Okay. So, number 10 go.
Medyo mahirap to.
Medyo spicy na naman take na to. I don't know why, but hindi ko alam kung everyone agree with me, but my number 10 right now is Jakob Poeltl. Jakob. Diba?
Okay.
I don't know if it's a bold take, but the way he's playing right now, the way he has developed, and the way I'm really, as someone talaga who watches the Spurs right now, and kahit sabihin natin may halo na rin talaga itong Spurs bias, but like, I love his game right now, and he's really taking it in. Parang nagkaroon din this season yung career high niya rin ata, and then meron din ata siyang game na muntikan na siya magka-triple-double, and the way he plays, it reminds me of like the good old centers, and the way he plays defensively, I think he's a defensive anchor right now of the Spurs besides yung guards nila. And parang nung una nga, parang sabi ko, Jakob Poeltl, sabi ko, okay naman, as long as ma-develop siya, which is what happened right now nung na-trade siya, kahit ilang beses, kahit dinakdakan siya ni DeMar DeRozan nung posterized na yun, okay lang. Because like, I'm really proud and like, I'm really happy with the way he plays this season. And so Jakob Poeltl is my number 10. Tutuloy ko na ba? Yung ba? O hindi pa muna?
Ikaw muna. Sige, Byron. Byron, ikaw na muna, Byron.
10 ko, Jakob Poeltl din. Same reasons, pero sama ko lang, he's become a good passer for a big. Like, ang dami niyang, ang galing niya mamasa. Like, diba? Mga cuts nila, Maurice Navasel. I like how he plays nga. And he's become one of the best offensive rebounders.
Yes.
Sobrang daming second chance points ng Spurs when he plays.
Dahil sa kanya. Ito pala.
The hell just happened?
Nagalit siya. May napindot. Pero yun, we are back again. Di ko alam kung may post man yun o hindi. Pero gaya nga na sinabi ni Byron, kanina, laban ng Spurs and Lakers, grabe yung second chance points niya. Yung offensive rebounds niya, sobrang helpful. Diba? And the way na nagkaroon ng rumors na he was gonna get traded kasi tumaas na yung value niya like sa trade market, that means a lot then. Like a lot of teams are looking to get his service as a player. So that speaks a lot of volume.
Tsaka pag nakaka-match up siya yung mga ibang good bigs, nakakasabay talaga.
Nakakasabay siya, honestly. And like, hindi siya madaling ma-phase. Like, although medyo, like arguably medyo criticize mo pa yung shooting niya with the free throws right now. But the improvement and all from being a Toronto Raptor until develop na siya sa Spurs, it's really good. Like I think he really deserves the credit din naman.
Kopio.
Yusuf Nurkic ako.
Number 10?
Number 10. Kasi alam naman natin lahat yung medyo magulo yung situation ngayon sa Portland. Dame isn't playing yet. Nag-rehab pa siya. Tinrade na si CJ. Pero Yusuf Nurkic alongside Anthony Simons has been playing really well, holding down the fort. I think they're 2 games behind na lang muna from the play-in tournament. For me,
talaga?
11th right now.
Date lang sila.
11th right now.
Habol din Spurs. Habol yan.
Parang hindi na.
Habol yan.
For me, I think Nurkic deserves some credit because I don't think anyone would have considered Portland to even be in the hunt for the play-in this year. Lalo na nung na-trade si CJ, akala ng lahat wala. So, just because of him and Anthony Simons, may chance talaga. They have a legitimate case to make the play-in tournament.
And
Magaling
Josh Hart.
Josh Hart also.
Props to him. Right. My number 10, Steven Adams.
Actually, my number 9 is Steven Adams.
Number 10 ko si Steven Adams.
8 ko nga si Steven Adams.
Because, may nilagay. Alam mo yung ko napansin? Hindi, pero okay. Steven Adams muna tayo ngayon kasi this season yung pinag-uusapan. So, Steven Adams, just because, alam naman natin kung paano siya maglaro ng Thunder siya. Nung lumipat siya sa New Orleans, medyo hindi na siya given the spotlight the same way, but he's still Steven Adams. And right now, like Yusuf Nurkic, he's holding down the center position for the Memphis Grizzlies, who are a top-seeded team in the West. Of course, Ja Morant, Desmond Bane, all of these young guys, Dylan Brooks, are of course doing most of the scoring for Memphis. Pero, syempre intangibles to eh.
Exactly.
Intangibles. Steven Adams. The screens pa lang pare.
Diba? Kaya I think dun hindi na-appreciate si Steven Adams porque hindi mo lang nakikita rin sa stats.
Yeah.
Like, that's why I put him then in number 9 kasi talagang iba rin yung nagiging effect niya sa team niya. And kaya parang nagtaka ako bakit siya tinrade ng Pelicans. I'm like, you already have Steven Adams, but
bakit siya tinrade ng Thunder?
Ewan ko sa'yo.
Real talk lang. I get that the Thunder is rebuilding.
Yeah.
Pero anong meron kay Adams? Bakit kailangan mawala siya sa team?
Draft picks.
Draft picks lang. Wala silang ginawa nito.
I think he could have been a great piece alongside with SJ right now.
Exactly. Parang vet. Dapat
diba?
Kinip siya as a vet. Pero sige.
Yeah. But wala eh.
Whatever. Olivier Sarr. Sino yun? Sino ba din yung center na? Sino?
Sabi na.
Jeremiah Robinson Earl, yung suki sa mga putang ng mga cards yan.
Diba?
Napuntahan. Sige, oo na lang. 4 points per game. Byron sinasabi, mataas potential niyan. 4 points per game, starting team. Sige na lang. Sige, Rome, tuloy mo na yun. 9 mo si Steven Adams.
Number 9.
Number 9, yeah, Steven Adams. Yung main reasons, intangibles. And like, how the Memphis Grizzlies are playing then right now. Like, kahit na kainisang ko nag-career high si Ja Morant, pero ang ganda pa rin ng laro niya talaga eh. Kasi career high niya sa Spurs, pero okay lang. Pero ang ganda talaga ng laro niya. And Steven Adams then deserves the credit for that team. Like, sila Jaren Jackson, like sila Desmond Bane, Anthony Melton. Pero talagang hindi ko alam bakit nawawala madalas sa picture si Steven Adams. But from his OKC days to kahit sa Pelicans and right now talagang nasa Memphis, I think sobrang na-solidify lalo. And I think that's one of the reasons why the Memphis Grizzlies are vying to be like top 3 team ngayon sa West. Because like I think they were number 2 for a time. Number 2,
I think now.
I think they're still number 2, yeah. So that's yun lang for me.
Byron.
Number 9 ko, yung tinrade para kay Adams. I have Jonas Valanciunas as my number 9.
I agree.
For me naman, I think last year, the Grizzlies were still just young. Pero si Jonas Valanciunas yung focal point eh. If you actually watch the Grizzlies games last year, siya yung focal point ng offense nila. And he's doing the same things now sa Pelicans. And then dami niyang mga 2020 games. I think he's had 2020 games this season. So he's really been a dominant big man. Tapos may shooting pa siya. And he's averaging 18 and 12. So I just think he's better. Like overall as a talent, he's better than Steven Adams as yung mga iba. So that's why I have him as my number 9.
Oh, I agree. Pang 9 ko si Valanciunas. Kasi Raptors days pa lang, sinusubaybayan ko na siya when he was with sina Kyle Lowry. Tas, I think now, like what Byron said, mas napapakita na niya yung ano niya, yung talent niya because of his opportunity. Ang daming wala. Wala si Zion, like what we said kanina. So sila the Pelicans are making it work right now with Brandon Ingram, even CJ McCollum. But sobrang laking piece pa rin ni Valanciunas for them as a whole. Like, sino yung papalit sa si Herbert Jones, no offense, but pero magaling talaga siya this season.
Pero okay lang naman din si Herb Jones, ha?
Yeah.
Hindi naman siya. May potential din. Okay. Sorry. Right.
Okay. Ako, magugulat kayo, pero si Jarrett Allen, number 9 ko.
Number 9 mo siya? Mas mataas pa siya sa akin.
I expected din naman na mas mataas siya sa inyo. Pero kasi, I know he's having like an all-star performance this year. And alam natin tinitignan natin yung intangibles, but you know, he blocks, he gives good screens, rebounds, and all of that. I get it. But I think I can see more from him, lalo na I mean, may mga injured ngayon sa Cavs eh. So I feel like he could have done more. And no offense, I think a big part kung bakit siya yung center sa All-Star game is because it's in Cleveland grounds.
Well, naman.
And yung sinabi nga ni Byron, Valanciunas is a lot more skillful than most of these guys. Which is why I'm putting Jarrett Allen there because I feel like he's one-dimensional offensively. Tapos, of course, appreciated naman yung defensive prowess niya. But pagdating sa offense, feeling ko he needs to improve more on that. Lalo na maraming injured and he's still young. Gagaling pa siya. That's why he's still number 9 for now kasi baka may tumaas pa siya sa list ko pag upcoming years. Kopio.
Ano ba number na to? 8?
9.
Sabi, Valanciunas, pero ako ni Byron.
Sige, 8 na.
8 na.
8. Sige, Pio. Simulan mo 8.
Steven Adams ako. 8. Kasi, for me, tinignan ko rin yung placement nila sa standings. Tapos, with everything na nasabi nila about Steven Adams, a big reason why the Grizzlies are now second in the West is because of him. Maganda yung nabibigay niyang rim protection to the Grizzlies. Veteran presence siya to all the new guys, pati si young guys pala. And I think for me, magaling talaga yung sportsmanship niya, ni Steven Adams. Siya yung nakikita mo yung kapag may sasabay sa kanya, tapos tatamaan, he'll pick him up. Or he'll stop them from volley. Maganda talaga, malaki talaga yung impact ni Adams sa game. And the Grizzlies are winning. Like,
big mistake, Oklahoma. Big mistake.
Winning right now, so yun yung out.
Just saying, big mistake. Byron, sino sa'yo?
8 ko, NIKOLA Vucevic. Same reasons I have for Valanciunas. It's just he's better than Valanciunas. So, based on skills, talent, overall. I mean, it's still NIKOLA Vucevic. We know what he can do when he was in Orlando, and now he's doing it in a winning team in Chicago.
Mine is Valanciunas. Yun yan, sinabi ko kanina. He's my number 8. I feel like he's better skill-wise compared to Jarrett Allen and Steven Adams. Despite not having a better record than both of them. But ganun pa rin, skill-wise, Valanciunas is above them. No.
Number 8 ko is Montrezl Harrell.
Montrezl Harrell!
Montrezl Harrell!
Yes, sir.
I don't know, kasi parang
hindi mo ba sinama, Byron, sa listahan mo? Hindi?
Honorable mention.
Ba yan? Ba't ganoon? Kala ko ba MVP caliber yun? Bakit hindi?
Parang actually medyo nag-fall off sa list ko si Trez, pero 8 ko siya kasi at the start of the season parang ang ganda agad ng laro niya eh. Like, yung nga, I think na-mention nyo rin dati sa dati yung episode. Di ba? No daw eh.
Talaga.
About how parang naging MVP candidate din si Trez. And, but at the same time, medyo nag-recede lalo yung laro niya, especially because of the locker room issues sa Washington, and since kakalipat niya rin sa Charlotte, so parang nag-adjust pa rin siya. Pero with the way he played at the start of the season and the way he's adjusting now sa Charlotte and the way na ginagamit siya sa Charlotte, I think aayos pa yung laro niya lalo. And that's why nilagay ko rin siya sa number 8 ko right now.
Sino 7 mo?
Ko.
Oo.
Number 7 ko is DeAndre Ayton.
Huh?
I don't know. Di ba? Napaka kayo? Di ba?
Ang baba.
Hindi ko nilagay si Jonas Valanciunas. Because nilagay ko lang si DeAndre Ayton for the purpose, because like yung Suns right now, like he's been a really good piece for the Suns. Baka alam ko magdi-disagree kayo the way you reacted pa kala huh? DeAndre Ayton. Pero I think yung medyo na-underappreciate din siya with the way he plays. Kumbaga, yes, sabihin na natin siya yung naging parang bagong tawag nito, DeAndre Jordan ni Chris Paul. Pero like, I like his game din naman. And parang nakashoot din siya ng threes. And I think it's all attributed din naman with how the Suns are performing and how good he's been performing din naman. And I think he's okay naman. I think nalilive niya rin naman yung I think siya ba yung number 1 pick doon? If I remember. Yeah. Diba?
He's higher on my list.
DeAndre Ayton.
Kaya kami nagulat kasi ang baba.
Ang baba. Ang baba. Akala ko kasi wala siya sa list niyo. Pero may mas, sabi sa inyo, di ba? Mas mataas pa si Jarrett Allen sa akin. Pero yeah.
Okay.
That's one.
Ikaw, boy.
7 ko nga. Si Jarrett Allen naman. Well, I don't think anyone really expected the Cavs to be where they are, and that is, I mean, maraming dahilan doon siya na Jarrett Allen. I mean, he's really been having a great season this year. Got the All-Star nod. And I mean, gaya na sabi kanina, I mean, it's Jarrett Allen. He's had a defensive impact then for the Cavs, which has really been big on their success. So, yeah, I really think he's had that kind of season na top 10 talaga.
Okay. Akin si Vucevic.
Ako din. 7 ko si Vuce.
Wala eh. Si Byron kasi inuunahan ako sa mga explanation sa mga player eh. Ganun din. Skill-wise, mas magaling siya doon. A better version of Valanciunas, basically.
Yun din yung
a better version of
mas magaling lang talaga yung team niya yun talaga. Yun. Taas yung standing nila.
Actually, number 5 ko si Vucevic.
Oh my God.
Kasi yung
ang dami
pero actually, same reasons lang din naman din. Pero talagang hindi ko alam. As in, right now din, kasi in-attribute ko rin nung season. In-explain ko na agad number 5, sorry. Pero yun na.
Wala na.
Sorry. Pero yun. Basta yun. Explain ko na lang mamaya. Abangan nyo na lang.
Sige.
Papio, 6.
6 Jarrett Allen. Siya yung pang 6 ko. Kasi, because of everything you said, I know since his Brooklyn days, his defense was already yung highlight nga niya, blocks, diba? Kay Embiid, checklist sila Embiid, AD, tsaka Giannis, lahat nagawa niya. Pero ngayon, I think this game elevated pa. Kasi Evan Mobley, Lauri Markkanen, si Mobley, rookie siya. And Markkanen is relatively young. So, parang instant vet siya. Mentor niya si Kevin Love. But the Cavs are, yun din, yung sinabi ko kanina with Portland, nobody thought that the Cavs would contend for the playoffs. Mas lalo pa nung nawala si Colin Sexton. Walang nakaisip nun. Tapos at one point, third seed sila. Hindi ko na alam kung nasan yung Cavs ngayon. But a big reason why they're still in the playoff hunt is because of Jarrett Allen. Malaking piece siya sa system nila. Believe talaga ako sa performance niya this year.
Okay. I got Bam at my 6. I got Bam Adebayo at 6.
It's my 5th.
Bam Adebayo is my 6th because the guy is scoring well. He's averaging what, 19 and 9? Yeah, on 50% shooting pa. He should have been the all-star. Not Jarrett Allen, but
He was injured pala.
Yeah. Well, yun nga. Dahil injured siya. But yeah, I think he ito skill-wise talaga. Skill-wise, ibang klase si Bam. And he takes
Yeah, I
advantage
agree
of
naman.
how fast he is because of his height. Parang hindi siya katangkaran. Kaya advantage niya is yung bilis niya. And nagagamit niya na maayos yun, which is why I put him at number 6. Bye-bye.
Number 6. Number 6, DeAndre Ayton. Well, same reason sabi ni Jerome kanina, how big he is for the Suns. And yung improvement niya from last year. Last year, medyo nag-settle pa siya. Medyo nagmamadali pa.
Yeah.
This year, he's really matured this game.
Yeah.
Which I think will be a big reason talaga bakit napaka-favorite ng Suns for the West. So, yung 6 ko, DeAndre Ayton.
Ikaw, Jerome.
Jared Allen. Okay, number 5 ko na. And si Vucevic. Vucevic.
Tuloy mo na.
Actually, nagde-debate talaga rin ako kasi actually nawala rin si Bam sa list ko kasi sabi ko shit si Bam. Talaga nagde-debate ako either si Bam or Vucevic pero nilagay ko na lang si Vucevic kasi like how like I love Bam's game din naman right now like with how he's matured and how he's developed and grabe talaga yung na-acclimate ng culture sa Heat but then Vucevic like even in his Orlando days, 40 points, magugulat ka. Like, what? Itong player na to, di ba? And then now, he's in a good team where he can be used properly and playing with his old college teammate, DeMar DeRozan. Talagang parang, okay na hindi na siya mag-average ng 40, makapag 40-point game, pero maganda pa rin yung impact niya sa team. And like, the way he's being used right now by Billy Donovan, in Chicago. Sorry na lang. Armat. Yun, sa pangkawalan yun. Pero the way he's being used right now in Chicago is really something else. So that's why I put him in top 5. And yun na lang yung naging debate ko. Either tatanggalin ko si Vucevic or si Bam Adebayo. Pero for the sake of this one now, I think si Vucevic muna.
Ikaw, Byron.
Ay, go. Ay, sila ba?
Pang ano ba?
Panglima.
Okay, sorry.
Byron.
5 ko si Towns. Carl Anthony Towns.
Damn, really?
Oh.
Gago, pang mataas sa akin. Sobrang taas sa akin eh.
But for me, kung base skill, yeah, he's top 3 for me. Pero Carl Anthony Towns is it's not really that consistent. He's a good talent. Pero when it comes to winning basketball, I mean, he has a squad. Carl Anthony Towns has D'Angelo Russell, has Anthony Edwards, and they're still just the 7th seed. We have said this for Carl Anthony Towns for years since he's been drafted. Now he's one of the most skillful big men, and yet nothing's really happened.
Best shooting big man.
Ayun, sinasabi niya he's the best shooting big man. But I think he has a problem that Joel Embiid had for a few years ago. Being the quote-unquote best shooting big man doesn't mean that you have to shoot threes all the time.
Tama.
And that's what I see from Carl Anthony Towns. He doesn't have the... Ayoko taging laro niya. Di ko trip yung laro niya na tira ng tres when he can just post anyone up. He's that skilled. Pero I just don't see him as a big that can win for a franchise na siya yung top guy. So that's why I have him as number 5.
I have DeAndre Ayton as my 5.
Okay.
I feel like kasi based on how much he's helping Phoenix right now, based on his growth as a player and how much he's helping Phoenix be the number 1 seed, despite of course all the big men in the league and finals experience na rin siya ngayon. May finals experience na siya ngayon, so malaking tulong yun sa kanya.
Dagdag na lang din kay Matt, kasamang politika sa Phoenix. He's doing all that. Hindi pa siya binigyan ng max extension.
Yeah.
Ang hirap sa loob nun. Like, if I were him, number 1 ako sa draft class ko. Kaka-finals lang namin dahil malaking part ako dun sa team. Tapos makita mo si Trae Young, si Luka Doncic, pati si SGA, Max Deal sila. Ako hindi. Ako nakaka-finals lang natin dahil sa akin. Tapos, pinapakita niya, nag-improve siya nung nag-rematch sila ng Bucks a few days ago. Yung first matchup nila, sinasabayan niya talaga si Giannis. So, I think he'll only improve. Katulad ng sinabi ni Jerome kanina, may tirang labas naman to si Aiton. He'll only improve, gagaling pa rin siya. Yun yung akin.
Sino 4 mo?
4 ko si Bam Adebayo. Ito, medyo bias ako dito. Kasi the Heat is number 1 ngayon. Hindi ko lang talaga mag-gets kung bakit sila number 1. Kasi Bam Adebayo na 6'9", nagdo-dominate siya. Kalaban niya, mga 7-footer na Joel Embiid. Parang, para sa akin, di ko ba makang gawin yun? Malit naman ako. Pero, nakikita mo talaga na magaling si Bam. Even if he's undersized, kayang-kaya niyang makipagsabayan kay Giannis, kila Embiid. Kahit kay Jokic, kayang-kaya niya. So, he's my 4. Bam Adebayo.
Ako, 4 ko si Gobert. My number 4 is Rudy Gobert.
Same.
I'm
My
not
4 is
really
number
high like other people on Rudy Gobert. Like I feel like defense and blocking is hype. No offense to him, and siyempre siguro pinagtrabahuhan na rin yun, pero tangkad lang siya tsaka his length is wide. Kung ikaw ba naman ganun ka katangkad tapos ganun ka wide. So, siguro naman kaya mo rin pumalpal ng mga tira tsaka maging shot blocker if you're really passionate about the game, right? And siguro nalagay ko na siyang that high because despite me not being, so Rudy Gobert is that good of a player, lang siya. He's good defensively. Malaking tulong siya sa Utah. Malaking dahilan kung bakit teams against Utah hindi nakaka-atake sa paint pag nandun siya. It's a big defensive presence. Better defensive presence than most of these other guys pagdating sa blocks. So, yeah. Saka intimidation factor.
Same. Yun lang din naman yung reason ba't ko sabihin si Rudy Gobert 4 ko eh. So, copy na lang din. Copy na lang.
Copy paste. Byron,
Byron,
ikaw.
Copy paste.
Yeah, number 4 ko rin si Gobert. Pero sa akin
rin pala.
Ha?
Copy paste din pala yung sa'yo.
Pero sa akin naman, I mean, they got Hassan Whiteside to back him up. Pero you can really see yung impact ni Gobert when he doesn't play, na nag-fall off talaga yung laro ng Utah. Like, as not skillful that he is, iba din yung offense when Gobert is there. The way he sets screens, the way he catches lobs, the way he gets second chance points. Iba rin talaga yung impact ni Gobert. And you see, gaya sa amin, you see passionate about the game. Maraming bombs out there na are just lengthwise, haba, and wide. Pero Gobert's really work on it, and mataas na IQ ni Gobert as for a big. It's just na, hindi nga siya ganun ka-skilled as a big man, but he's still same impact din as the others.
Okay. Last 3.
Aminin ko, nakalimutan ko si Rudy Gobert sa listahan. No hate lang sa kanya. Sobrang no hate. On me yun.
Oh, di ba?
On me yun. Siguro papalitan ko si Nurkic dito.
Usag na siya lahat.
On me yun. Sobrang
Usag pababa.
Hindi,
Okay.
basta yakis na lang natin yun. Basta nakalimutan ko talaga yun.
Sige, Pio, sino number 3 mo?
Cut ako. Kung labanan,
Wala nga siyang Gobert.
kung labanan ng skill, I think Cut behind lang siya dun sa top 2 na papag-usapan na lang natin mamaya. Pero nag-agree naman ako kay Byron. Maraming butas sa laro ni Cut. Maraming questions about his defense. Yun nga kasi minsan nakatayo lang talaga siya. But skill, top 3 ECC si Cut para sa akin.
Likewise. I'm not a big Cat guy as well. Yung si Cat at saka si Gobert, I'm not big fans of both of them. I don't think they can lead their respective teams into a championship run. Pero we're talking about skill, and I think Cat is a very, very good big man pagdating sa skill. A lot better than what he said for the other people right there. So,
Nanalo nga ng 3-point shootout eh. It was like, iba rin yung shootout.
Kailangan lang niya i-adjust kung paano siya maglaro. Pero he's already good.
He's really playing good. Yun lang din. Copy-paste na lang dito ako. Tapos kukot ko na lang Armat 2022. Thank you. Parang di ako sabihan na tawag na ito. Plagiarism na gabi na.
Tama.
Byron, ikaw, Byron.
Well, number 3 ko, Bam. I have Bam Adebayo as my third best.
Ano
Wala si
This season.
Gobert? Wala ba si Gobert sa listahan mo?
Ang apat niya
Fourth
siguro.
ako, fourth.
Fourth.
Fourth niya.
As far as even though, ayun nga, maraming na-miss na games Bam early on this season. Pero, for me, Bam Adebayo is my favorite to be the defensive player of the year. Like, that's how skilled he is defensively. And he's also that skilled defensively as well. He's just not that, hindi siya scorer yung mentality niya. Like, he gets others involved. He does everything on the court. And, yan, number 3 ko siya.
Hintayin nyo lang si Jeremiah Robinson early.
Hintayin.
Yun na yun. Future.
Susunod si Jack Landale, nasa top 10 na yan.
Okay, so ito na. Big question. 1 and 2. Jerome, sige, mauna ka na para walang copy-paste.
Parang feel ko
Sino una at sino 2 mo sa top, sa big men? Center.
This season, no? Di ba?
This
This season
season.
talaga yung natin.
Who is the 2 and who is the 1?
Oh, shit. Medyo mahirap to
Hirap.
Pero, ang hirap talaga. Sorry pero nilagay ko number 2 is may suspend pa. Pero ang nilagay ko si Joel Embiid on my number 2 despite his MVP performance this season. I don't know why. Pero Nikola Jokic is my number 1. Like,
Siyempre, top 10 mo nga sa all-time eh.
After mga soten, di mo ilalagay sa number 1. Sa Raulo ka pala. Ba't mo pa nilagay sa top 10? Naglolo. Pero, I mean, Joel Embiid is really having an MVP season. Like, we could agree with that. But then, medyo question pa rin, like, akala ko naglag sila lahat. Natakot ako kasi yung mga mukha nyo tumigil eh. Hindi po suspension, natakot ako. Pero,
nagkamali lang.
Yun nga, Joel Embiid MVP season nga. And parang, I think siguro yung question ko sa kanya is, will he be willing to, although andun si James Harden, like, will he be willing to be like a teammate na who's willing to pass the ball, unlike Jokic? And although he carries the team, pero yun nga yung naging problema nun when the Miami Heat really, really pressured him. And then pero kahit sabihin natin bad game, yung 22 points, parang nag-double-double siya, 22 points, and pero a good amount of rebounds pa rin. Pero parang yun din yung issue dun. Like, paano kapag na-stop na si Joel Embiid? Like, what if na-stop yung the process? And, I think number 2, maganda rin na nakita ko na may video ata na nakita doon, parang ina-emulate yung game nila Jordan, nila Kobe, tapos ngayon parang yung ginagaya niya si James Harden. I think, it's good din na talagang if nakikita mo yung transition, parang iba na rin talaga yung big man game ngayon. And, he's literally, I think talaga kaya number 2, pero number 1 talaga for me, Jokic, the Joker right now. And although sabihin natin na talaga medyo hirap this season yung Denver because of the injuries, iba pa rin kasi, like, iba yung dala rin ni Jokic right now. Like, yung shooting niya, kahit na pa-awkward yung tira niya na iba pa rin ganda pa rin, pasok pa rin. And the way he's a passer, nag-triple-double siya, it's really something else. And like, number 1 ko talaga siya is because, it's like, I'm still in awe with the way he plays right now. And kahit na nung All-Star, sabi ko bakit hindi siya gaano binigyan ng bola nung All-Star eh. Pero talagang when it comes to the regular season talaga, iba pa rin talaga yung laro ni Jokic. And I think testament na doon yung mga naging recent na laro nila. And yung laro nila ngayon kanina na I think tinalo nila yung Golden State. So, that's why number 1 ko si Jokic.
Ako,
number 2 ko si
to put it out there, may ilang beses sa channel na to na hina-hype up ko si Jokic more than Embiid. But to be honest, I think in the long term, I'm more of a Joel Embiid guy. I feel like right now lalo na right now, he's number 1 for me. And number 2 ko si NIKOLA Jokic. Kasi one factor pa lang, sobrang iba na eh. Defense. Defense pa lang. The passing, of course, I mean, NIKOLA Jokic's passing is great. Pero if yun lang yung lamang mo kay Embiid, in my opinion, yun lang yung lamang niya kay Embiid. This is passing. Scoring, defensive-wise, Embiid ako eh. Feeling ko mas may advantage doon, and that's why he's my number 1.
Okay.
Ako, I agree with Matt. Like, alam din ng mga kaibigan ko pag tinatanong yung ano ba views ko kay Jokic. Ngayon, believe na believe ako sa kanya. Dati talaga, hindi ako believer kasi nga, sobrang question yung defense niya. For up to now actually, well, ngayon, sa 4th end game, nakikita mo, he's trying na talaga, which is good. Pero, if the question is defense, walang-wala si Jokic kay Embiid. Doon naman sa passing, yes, I agree, lamang si Jokic sa passing. But Embiid doesn't need to pass as well as Jokic because he has James Harden. James Harden, if you've watched Phillies games recently, yung pick and roll ni Embiid at saka ni Harden, wow, ibang klase talaga.
And you don't have to pass that way or this certain way or that certain way to get someone open or...
Gets ko naman na, maganda talaga yung passing ni Jokic. Hindi ko inaano yun. Pero, I think it's also due to the fact na talent-wise, siya talaga he's the best player, tas yung second best player niya, sobrang debatable kung sino sasabihin mo. Maraming pwede. So, siya talaga yung nagdadala ng bola para manalo yung team niya. But, if you're talking player for player, Embiid is on a different... Siguro they're the same level this year. Pero, Joel Embiid is defense. That means he impacts both parts of the game for me. That's why I have Embiid number 1, Jokic number 2.
Sa akin naman, actually ginawa ko yung list ko nung weekend. Pero yung mga laro ni Jokic, medyo napapaisip ako.
Ako nga, ginawa mo yung list mo nung weekend? Ginawa mo yung list mo nung weekend? Ako, ginawa ko nga lang kanina eh. Di ba?
Before Byron, before you continue your point, when you watch Jokic, you think he's the best big man in the NBA. And then pag pinanonood mo naman si Joel Embiid, yung meron din iniisip mo. So,
diba? Arguably, di ba?
So, to make it clear, in 3 to 10, basta nandito sila, and Jokic and Embiid are just the 2 best big men talaga.
Right
they're
now,
on a different level.
Like, yun yung talagang, I think most people will agree with.
Yeah.
Pero yeah, for me, I'm still sticking with yung sinasabi ko before. For me, Joel Embiid is still the best player in the game, not just the best center. I mean, I have him as number 1 because I really think he's the best big man, the best player in the world. Because I don't think there's anything that can stop Joel Embiid. Like sabi ko, nag-usap kami about the All-Star game. That's why I really believe na manalo Team KD because of Joel Embiid alone. Like, and munti ka sila manalo because Joel Embiid.
Kasama siya sa top 75 mo, diba? Kasama siya sa top 75.
Joel Embiid nga. I'm really a Joel Embiid guy. I mean, Steph Curry was shooting threes. Pero Joel Embiid was doing step backs then. I mean, for a big man. Kasi nga nakita mo yung mga highlights na kino-compare siya kina Jordan, Kobe. You don't see that from a center, a 7-1 center. So, for me, Joel Embiid is just really the MVP this year, the best player this year. And it's a tough, every given night na dyan nag-iiba-iba yan. But for me, it's still Joel Embiid number 1. Yeah.
Correct. Ilan Joel Embiid yun? Tatlo?
Ay, sige ba?
Against me.
Yes natin si Jerome Pascua.
Grabe bold predictions ng guest nyo, di ba?
Grabe. Pero grabe pa rin yung bold prediction ni bold statement ni Pio na dapat si Nurkic nasa top 10.
Ay, ba yun talagang
pero wala.
Pero okay lang naman. Medyo debatable naman. Medyo din siya. Kasi
pinag-isipan ko si Nurkic siya.
Kasi maganda yung shooting ni Nurkic eh. Like, pupukul din ng tres eh. So, and like, underappreciated din siya. Because, yan.
And it's clear naman siguro na Jokic and Embiid. Silang dalawa yung most likely na aabot sa top 10 all-time list in the future.
In the future. Kaya ako nga, tingnan mo, nilagay ko na agad
Ngayon,
siya.
nilagay niya na eh. Wala pa nangyayari.
Diba? Pero it's something that I'm really anticipating and looking forward to. O, diba?
Tingnan natin kung nasali siya ng Spurs. Malay nyo.
Malayo. Diba? Malayo.
Next big man project ng Spurs. Wala.
Kay Soto. Ito yung
Soto.
pinakagusto kong bold prediction ko.
Pwede na Spurs yan.
Kay Soto, i-drop ng Spurs yan. Babalikan ko itong araw na to.
If I were Kai, mag-1 year pa rin muna ako sa Australia.
Hindi ko lang 1 year eh.
And I think that's a different topic to talk about. Then,
Tama.
di ba? Kaya, keep on
Kai,
watching.
ito, Kai, if you're watching, stay muna sa Australia. Pahinog. No hate yun, no hate. For me. Pero sino ba ako, di ba?
Beauty.
Sino
Tama.
yun?
Huwag natin ganunin yun.
Okay, sige. I guess that's it for this episode. Medyo nagtagal din kami nun, ha? Gawin mo, center pa lang yun, ha? Considering yung isa sa mga pinaka-counting choices. Ang tagal na namin. So,
Baka kasi madaldal lang yung guest nyo ngayon. Kaya ganun. Yun lang yung dahilan dun.
Post-game, Jerome, may sabihin ako sa'yo.
Okay.
Tungkol dyan sa mga episode, na coming episode natin.
Yun na, yari tayo. Sabi niyo, wag ka nang bumalik, nakakaiya ka. Okay. Yun.
Anyway, yun. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the episode again. If you agree or not, opinions lang naman namin to.
Yes.
Our opinions lang naman. So, if you have your own opinions, kung gusto nyo i-share nyo.
Comment down on the chat box down below. Oh, di ba?
Yun
talaga.
Lalagay natin yung Instagram ni Jerome dyan.
Ba? Ito, yan.
Yan.
Baka may Pare-pareho lang. Thank you.
Ayan. Tapos mag-DM kayo sa kanya ng order ng pagkain. Gagawin yun.
Gagawin ko kapag nagkita na lang tayo. Hindi ako nagpapadala ngayon. Layo ng bahay ko eh.
Okay.
Soon.
Last, hindi ko lang alam kung by this time na na-post yung episode, labas na rin yung IG poll kung kaninong team yung all-time team yung mananalo sa aming 4. Sabihin ko lang, vote for the Barnyard. Yun lang yung masasabi.
Oo nga pala. Yung top 75 namin. I will post it soon. And hopefully, lumabas na siya by now dapat. So, tatalo yung kay Pio. Barnyard ang putang baho ng pangalan. Okay. This has been the 14th episode of the Intangibles Podcast.
Amen.
Tama.
Thank you, Jerome, for coming.
Yes.
Thank you.
Welcome. Thank you for having me. Nang Olo Pasadin.
Thank you for in a rush. Thank you. It's been great. It's been fun. Look at the description below para sa mga Instagram tsaka businesses namin. Like, subscribe, comment, hit the bell button. Ayan.
Don't forget to share.
Yeah.
This is the Intangibles Podcast. Bantot na na. Mali.
And this has been the Intangibles Podcast. I'm Matt.
I'm Pio.
Byron, Carlo, Leuterio.
And I'm the guest, Jerome PASCUA.
Yeah.
Ingat.
Intangibles Podcast. Peace out. Be safe, y'all.
Peace. All love.
We on the low, be quiet.